All right, everyone, welcome back to Beyond the Athlete, where we sit down with Marymount athletes and discuss their journey. This week, we're joined by Carlos Varona of the men's soccer team. And Kike, I see you brought along a little something with you.
Yes, I did. Still mad they haven't put our name on the bottom right here.
Yeah, who's in charge of that?
I think, who's the head of athletics?
Jill? Jill McCabe?
Jill. Yeah, I think it's Jill.
We got to get on that.
I think she's supposed to tell someone.
Right there. It should say 2022 Marymount University.
Yes, sir. And there's going to be one next year, too. Right there on the
There
top.
you go. Well, obviously, while it's here, I'm going to ask, what was it like winning this thing?
A lot of blood, sweat, and tears over the past 4 years of being here. I remember freshman year, we were not so good. We kind of sucked, but we didn't really suck. But it was first year that we got 10 wins in program history. So, because before that, they would only win like 2 games a year, and so that's when I was getting recruited. That's when I saw like all the stats and all of that, and like I would see like they would go 2-16 for the year and stuff like that. So and then coming in and then getting 10 wins is a huge thing for us.
So what drew you to Marymount, knowing that?
I kind of like that it was a new coach coming in, so it was kind of good that like I get a fresh start in a new team, and so does the coach. So he doesn't know who's on the team, and he doesn't know like what's gonna happen, or he doesn't have any like favorites, kind of in a way.
Yeah, you're sort of going in with a clean slate.
So it was just good knowing that he was new.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And then obviously, 4 years in the making, but here it is. And
we're gonna count 3 years because
3 years because COVID. You're right.
COVID doesn't count.
You're right.
I also broke my ankle that year, so I was out.
I remember that.
So that was good times, but
it was all worth it in the end, right?
Yep, it was.
And going into the season, actually, I remember this vividly. Y'all were ranked as number 2 in the preseason poll.
That was funny.
Yeah, how was that a motivator going into the season?
It was kind of good because Cabrini's always been like the top dog in our conference, and so going into like coach, and all 4 years have been here, but especially this year, coach put up not posters, but like pictures of Cabrini last year, like winning the championship and all that, and so like all of us thought it was like funny, like in a like why would he do that in a way, but it was just funny knowing that like going in and then we played them and beat them. I think it was 4-1 or 4-0 or something like that, and beating them it was a good feeling. And so
I remember going into that game. There was a home game, and all this energy about we're playing Cabrini. They were preseason poll number 1, and by halftime the game was over.
Oh yeah, no, it was a big shock. I think a lot of us like during the game. I remember halftime. I think we were up 3-0 or 2-0 or something like that.
I think it was 2, yeah.
And at halftime we were out talking, and we were like no way, we're winning. Like we're winning this right now. Like we're being the best team, or was the best team in our conference, but we were beating them and like destroying them. So it was a good feeling. It was good team morale, I would say.
Yeah, and how would you say sort of the team grew throughout the season?
I would say it was at the beginning it was really good. Everyone was like competing for spots and like trying their hardest, and then towards midway through the season we played Stevenson and we lost 2-0, which isn't a bad beat, 2-0, but the way we played was just so bad, and I think that game was just our like one game of the year that like you have most teams have like a 1 or 2 bad games, and then after that it's like a switch, and then they just start playing again really great. And so I think that game for us was the game that made everyone's team morale go up, and all the freshmen stepped up. And because I remember after that game, it was all freshmen starting in the back with me. And so I was a little nervous and shaky about playing with a bunch of freshmen, and they didn't know how to play against these kids and all that. But it was competitive, and everyone started trying during conference again.
Yeah, and I keep going back to the championship game, but there's a good reason for it. It was one heck of a game. For most of that game, Marymount was trailing. How was that, mentally going in down at halftime and then really up until the final moments trailing?
It it was rough. It was especially for me because uh, I was playing so bad in the first half, and I remember. So I should have gotten a red, but we're not gonna talk about that.
There were a few, yeah.
So yeah, that happened, and then once halftime kicked in, I think everyone realized like we have 45 minutes until the our season's done, and we basically just lose for like we came all this way for no reason in a way, and so I think after that it was just good.
And then, of course, final moments. I remember you were playing. You started the game at center back,
Yep.
got moved to midfield,
Yep.
got moved to striker in the final moments, and ended up winning the penalty that could have tied things.
We still watch it, like, me and my friends, we still watch it now. Like, it was literally the last 2 minutes of the game,
Yeah.
which is ridiculous. Even though we did that the first time we played them, we scored again. We scored the first goal in the last 4 minutes of the game against them the first time. And then just doing it again in a final, it was so... It just made everyone... I don't even know the word to explain how I felt during that moment.
Oh, yeah, that was my question. What was going through your mind after that penalty was called?
Oh, we're going to win that game. I was like, once we got the penalty, I was like, oh, we're going to win. There's no doubt in my mind. Because I knew we were going to go to OT. And then we went to OT, and then that's when I think everyone just was like, all right, give it everything you got. And then we went to penalties, and we won.
Yeah, those...
Stressful. And I didn't watch one penalty taken.
You didn't? I've heard that from a number of, actually, from your teammates.
I hate taking penalties, and I hate watching them. It just gets me so nervous, and I don't like that feeling.
So, yeah, I was curious. Going into the huddle, obviously, as one of the team captains, were you sort of taking a leadership role in, hyping the team up before the penalties?
Yeah, I kind of said, like, no matter what, like, because losing in penalties is always it's always a 50-50 chance, like either team can win. So I'm not gonna be mad at someone who misses a penalty, especially in a final. Like I know what they're going through, all the nerves, and especially as the freshmen that took the PKs, they were definitely nervous. And I was just like I love all of you guys, and no matter what, like we made it this far, and losing off penalties isn't gonna make or break the difference between us. So.
And of course, the freshman did score, and also in net was Byron, who forced a couple of misses.
Yep, he did. He changed a lot for us, especially for being like super tall.
Yeah.
So him coming out for corners and him just being a big guy and all.
Well, and yeah, he ended up winning the state rookie of the year, which you were a part of the all second team. Which how did that feel?
That was pretty cool. I was the first time getting any of those awards. I think I got third team last year, for the regional one, I think it was. But I got a couple accolades this year for like first team all conference, the region, state.
Yeah, so the VA-SID awards, I believe.
Yeah. That was cool. I've never gotten that before, so not like Leo, but.
Well, if everyone was like Leo, then it'd be one heck of a world, wouldn't it? A lot of goals being scored.
Yes.
But so winning this thing, which I want to keep harping on because I love this trophy so much.
Me too.
Got you a place in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
First time in Marymount history. Yeah. What was that like?
That was an interesting experience. It was, we kind of all went into the game like thinking, this is our first time ever for everyone and for the for the school. So we were thinking like we made it no one's gonna be mad if we lose in a way. Even though obviously we want to win, it's not like we don't. But like we weren't gonna be mad if we lost like the first game because it's like all the teams that were in the tournament, those were all their like 10th time going to the tournament, so they know what it's like to be in the NCAA and all of that. And for us, it's a whole different world. And
so what do you think you learned from that experience as a whole as a team?
I think we gained like a lot of experience from it because we usually don't have like that many fans compared to like how they would in like Mary Wash or all those big schools over there. And so everyone, I think everyone learned how to play quicker and just be better soccer player in general from playing in front of everyone.
And it was actually, I was surprised. Fortunately, it was played at Mary Washington right down the road.
Yes.
a surprising number of fans. Not quite as many as were at the championship game,
Not as many.
but because I mean that's the most I've ever seen at Longbridge Park.
Yeah.
It felt like
I
everyone
felt
was
like I
there.
was playing a professional game. I felt like there's so many people there.
Yeah, well, actually, I do want to talk about that a little bit, just because it really felt like the entire school rallied around
Yeah.
the soccer team and the volleyball team as well, which played on that exact
Yeah.
day and also won a championship that
Yes, they
day.
did. That was cool. Yeah, there was a lot of people there. Wasn't I? For me though, it's not. I don't focus too much on the crowd because I got like we call it for our coach we call it red, blue, or green. So if you're in green, you're like not paying attention to the game, like you're just like you're laughing or something like that. Red is like when you're angry and like you hitting people on fouls or ref does a call and he like the guy gets mad. And then we have blue, which is like tunnel vision, like you don't hear anything, like you're just in that like mental state of focusing on the game. And I think that's where I was in the first half. I was in red the whole time. I know that I got a yellow in the first 10 minutes, and after that I was slide tackling people like crazy, and I almost got a red. But then coach took me out. Well, at first I had a cut on my leg, and the ref was telling me like I need to get subbed off, and I was like, no, I don't. It's not like dripping or anything. It was just like a scab, and then he was like, no, you gotta get subbed off, which I think it was like a blessing in disguise because I got taken out. I had to get taken out, and coach just sat me down for the next 15 minutes until the second half. So I think if ref would have never told me to get out, I would have gotten a red card, and then I wouldn't have gotten the handball. Yeah. You know, like I feel like it all works in mysterious ways.
Yeah, having that 15 minutes to just sort of reset and find yourself, definitely. And also being a captain on this team, how would you say you would describe your leadership style?
For me, I think, and I have been told by a couple of the guys that, like on field, like, because off the field, it's like, do your homework or, you show up to lift or something, which is like, we're all grown men, so you should be doing your stuff on your own. But, I'm more of the on field. Like, I feel like I can lead people through how I play. So I feel like when I give people a certain energy, that they feed off of it, which is I think why we scored in the last 2 minutes of the game, is because I went up top, and then once I go up top, we start like going and going and going and attacking, and I think people feed off of my own energy.
What would you say your favorite position to play is? Because you play in every position on the field.
I like playing striker. I like scoring.
All right.
But I think my best one is center back. I think that's where I'm most composed, and I can do more better by communicating and telling people what to do. And
a lot of the times, you are the one who starts the attack by just playing that ball over the top from behind.
Yeah.
Is there any particular player you try to model your game after? Any favorite player?
It depends what position I'm playing. When I play center back, I like to watch a lot of Sergio Ramos. When I played striker, I like to follow Giroud.
Okay.
Or Ibrahimovic.
I'd say you're a little faster than either of those two.
Yeah, but I love the way they play.
The physicality, yeah. Makes sense.
And then midfield, I don't really have anyone.
You just like to be your own player?
Yeah, I just like to do my own thing.
And do you have a favorite team that you support?
Chelsea.
Chelsea's
my favorite. Even though they're playing bad right now, but we're gonna win next year.
Really? I don't think that's true.
I think that's what's gonna happen.
And obviously, it's a pretty big deal that almost everyone from last season is returning for next season. That's
a huge thing. I think having especially the seniors from this year, since we've all played together for the 4 years of being here, I think it's gonna help us a lot, knowing that we can win another championship.
And so you're coming back for grad school, correct?
Yeah.
So what's your undergrad currently?
I'm studying IT with a minor in cybersecurity.
And do you have an idea for what you're going to get your graduate degree in?
No, not yet.
Not yet? Okay. Do you have any sort of dream job after college?
I want to play soccer still. I want to go pro.
Any particular area? Do you want to stay in the U.S.?
Anywhere.
Anywhere?
It can be the worst team, and I don't know where, but as long as I'm still playing, that's what makes me happy.
And do you see yourself ever being interested in coaching, or once you're done playing?
I've actually been thinking about it, but I kids just get on my nerves sometimes coaching them. So it's kind of because we do the summer camp here for every summer. Man, those little kids do not listen, and I sometimes know what coach feels like because I feel like that's what we're like when coach is coaching us. So I know I feel like I know what he's going through when you tell a kid like, oh, do this, and he's like, no, I don't want to do that. It's like, all right, fine, go to timeout. It's like one of those.
Does coach ever put any of your players in timeout?
I don't know, but he kicks us out of practice, which I have been a couple times. But
who's the most likely to get kicked out of practice?
I would. Who's gonna watch this? But it's probably Reese.
I would. Yeah, I knew the answer to the question before I asked it.
Probably Reese. Yeah.
Back-to-back champion of falling on deaf ears, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. And always being in coach's office.
Hey, it's
not for good reasons though. It's not for good reasons.
Hey, it's still an award. You got to bring one home, right?
Yeah, I guess.
And so, what are the expectations for next season? I think I know the answer to that one as well. But
I want to go for the national championship.
Okay,
that's mine. Because I want to at least make Final Four, which is like it would be a huge accomplishment. But obviously, I want to win the championship,
of course,
and obviously win this again. But
yeah,
I feel like we got that.
Well, if you get this, you get your ticket to the NCAA tournament.
And we've been talking about that we also want to be ranked next year, which we were close this year, but we didn't play. I think we didn't play like ranked teams to get us ranked, kind of in a way. Like we would just play regular season teams.
Yeah, I believe the only team you played that was ranked was it Catholic? I believe
it was York. York.
Oh, York. Catholic, yes, thank you.
Both ranked, and then we played Mary Wash, which was also ranked.
Well, yeah, at the end of the season.
Mm-hmm. But in preseason, we played CNU also.
Yes.
Which we lost. We lost that game, but it was 1-0.
And it's preseason.
To a free kick, yeah. That's all right, though.
So you want to have a harder schedule for next season?
Yeah. I want to play like the best teams in wherever.
And you got to beat them.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
Who do you think next season will take a big step and really surprise me and all of the other fans who are watching? Is there anyone that you think is primed and ready to take that next step over this offseason?
Well, we're waiting for Kevin to get back.
Yeah.
Yeah, tore his ACL.
Traded his ACL.
Yeah. So
traded it for a ring.
That is true. So I'm waiting for him to come back. And we have a lot of good freshmen coming in, a lot of recruits. So hopefully they can step up like the freshmen did this year. Because the freshmen this year I was not expecting that many to start. Because we already had such a deep roster of upperclassmen. But the freshmen stepped up, and I was not expecting that. I was surprised.
So when you have a recruit here at Marymount, what are some things you like to show off about the campus and the environment and everything like that?
Man, haven't. So usually the recruits go to the freshmen and sophomores, but coach loves to make me do the recruit tour still. So one thing I love to show them is our backfield. The only thing I wish our backfield was a full-size field, but I mean, it's our practice field. Mm-hmm. And I love showing them all of the Lee Center because that's what I feel like as an athlete, that's what most people care about most is like the sports stuff. Not really much as like the school and like, yeah, they want to go see like what the classrooms look like, but it's not as cool as like going to the gym or seeing what we do on off days. Like we go play indoor here on the bottom field or bottom court. I play indoor down there, so that's usually what I explain to them. Like this is what we do on a day-to-day basis, and then off season what we do.
And so when you visited here, what was your biggest? Was it those were the biggest selling points in bringing you to Marymount?
No, I think it was just coach like being a new person here, mm-hmm. and him not knowing me, and I don't know him because I didn't get recruited by him. I was Eddie, which was my roommate my freshman year. He had already got offered from here, so I was like, "Hey, like Eddie, like talk to the coach for me, like tell him to recruit me and all that." And then out of nowhere, I get this email, and I was like it didn't look like an email from a coach. It just looked like a random email.
Mhm.
So I was like, oh, okay, like, is this real, Eddie? Whatever. And he's like, yeah, it's real. Whatever. I talked to the coach, and so we come here for the visit, and coach had never seen me play. He was just like, oh, come to the school, blah blah blah. So like I could have never turned out like this. I could have been horrible, and he would have never known. But yeah.
I mean, I'm being honest. I remember the first game I worked when you were a freshman. I could even tell that you just had this sort of energy that you brought to the midfield, which
Yeah.
is greatly appreciated and obviously
Yeah.
led to success. And so, with the whole squad coming back next year and adding more freshmen, whose job do you think is most at risk in the starting lineup? Who's got to really put in that work?
I'm gonna say the midfielders. Coach is recruiting a lot of midfielders. A lot of we got a couple wingers, and then we got we recruited a lot actually. A couple defenders, a couple midfielders, and a couple wingers.
So everyone's got to keep that.
Everyone's got.
grind on,
Everyone's got their work cut out for them.
Yeah.
Everyone's got to still do the same thing, which is a good thing. That what I love that coach does is that he gives people chances. Like if people don't perform in whatever time he puts them in for, and he gets taken out, then the next guy comes in, and if they do something, then the coach usually will play them more the next game or put them in again at halftime or like, which I love that he does.
Is there anyone that you think will step into a leadership role once you graduate and take over that captaincy? Is there anyone that you are sort of trying to set up to take your captaincy from you?
No, I want it forever.
Taking it with you?
I think I'm trying to help the freshmen. I'm trying to help them become better. I'm trying to make sure they go to class and do their homework and try to do all those like little things that matter because coach is always looking and you don't want coach on you. You don't.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to
course.
sit down with us. I always love chatting with student athletes, and
too.
this has been a great experience. And be sure to keep this in the office for next year. All right.
I'm gonna take it home.